Good evening. My name is Christine Binger. This is my EDL 854 Module 16, the budget debacle case study. To summarize about this case, I know that Briardale Elementary hosts lots of events and is a well-known school in the community and has somewhere between 500 and 600 students. There's a new Briardale, it's kind of hard to say, Foundation president, Mr. Barely, who's very excited to come on board and help the school raise some money to fund some curriculum programs, innovative curricular programs for the school. Mr. Santos is the principal of the school, and he met with Mr. Barely to go over the rules and expectations of his position as the president of the foundation. However, during the fundraising event to raise money for the innovative curriculum programs, Mr. Barely was arrested and convicted of a misdemeanor in relation to the event. The legal and ethical issues that come into play here, we know that Mr. Barely was convicted of a misdemeanor and that the raffle violated some sort of laws or safeguards that were in place, either by the district or the law itself. However, we are not sure who told what was going on. Therefore, we don't know what the crime was specifically, but we do know that it was in relation to this event that was taking place. So in one sentence, I said Mr. Barely made decisions for the fundraiser without following the laws and procedures outlined either by the district or government. In addition, Mr. Santos did not follow up with Mr. Barely to ensure procedures were being followed, which resulted in embarrassment for the school and distrust to Mr. Barely, the foundation president, and the principal, Mr. Santos. So that is a summary of what is taking place based on what I know and what the case study shares. So some facts. The people that are involved is the principal, Mr. Santos, the foundation president, Mr. Barely, the president of a competing foundation, Mr. Morley, who was mentioned at the beginning of the case study, though it is not sure if he was the, quote, whistleblower who shared the wrongdoing of Mr. Barely, but he is somebody that is mentioned in the case study, so I wonder what kind of role he plays. And the last is a group. It's the community members, the students, the parents, the actual community members who all participated in the raffle by purchasing tickets and attending. What we don't know is who the person was that reported Mr. Barely and what they reported them for specifically. Places. The raffle took place at Briardale Elementary School, which is a huge community center for events that take place in the community. I'm assuming that the crime took place at the elementary school or at least within the community. Otherwise, I'm not quite sure how that would align with what's taking place. So it definitely took place in or around the school. And the facts about the programs. Mr. Barely's very excited to raise some money for innovative curriculum programs, in addition to the programs that are already funded by the district's funding, because anything that they want to do beyond that, they have to raise money for. So he's very excited. But what we don't know is how other schools are raising money. So while the raffle for cash event could have been very successful, I would be interested to know what other ways schools are raising money to fund programs that they want at their school. That may have helped decide how to run this, maybe could have given Mr. Barely some idea as to what he should or should not do, but also, are there other ways that we could have raised the same amount of money? To prioritize the information, I looked at the intent, which was positive. Mr. Barely was very excited. He wanted to raise some money. Mr. Santos was also excited. He was happy to have somebody who was willing to take on that task and get the community involved, but also show his school in a good light. And I think those are both really great things. In addition, the community was excited in the hopes of winning some money, which could help out in lots of different ways. And the students would have benefited from this opportunity and the money that they raised because of the programs it would have brought. However, it resulted in lots of embarrassment for the Mr. Santos and Mr. Barely, but also probably the entire staff. I wouldn't really know exactly how I would feel if this happened at my school, but I would be embarrassed that this becomes front page news and people are talking about it. It's not something that I would really want to be associated with. Who or what does this affect? It definitely affects the students because it does not raise the money that would give them the programs they want. It affects the staff because morale would be down, there'd be embarrassment, maybe people would want to switch schools and go somewhere where there's more trust and honesty taking place. The district can't trust the school probably moving forward to raise money on their own In addition, the district is looked down upon by not following up with the schools and seeing what they're doing and ensuring they're following all the laws. And the community is embarrassed. This school was a pillar of the community, and they offered lots of opportunities for the students, but also as a place to come together for events. And it is difficult to trust that moving forward. But what I still need to know is what took place. So I would reconcile the ticket sales as well as the money that was handed off and make sure that those both align and ensure that it wasn't something between that. I would also want to make sure that there's documentation on the taxes that have to take place for the winter. What do we have set up for that? Are we prepared for that? And were all the steps that led up to this followed by protocol? Was the cash fund accounted for? Were sales accounted for? What was taking place to ensure that as this progressed, every step and every box was being checked? And lastly, I definitely want to know what the misdemeanor charge is. It would narrow down some of these questions I have. For example, if it was definitely in regards to pocketing some money, I know I can go back to the sales and cash and be able to find out what that number was. As far as options, option 1 is no action. You just realign the safeguards, redistribute them, and continue as normal as if nothing happened. Option 2 is a comprehensive action plan. Remove Mr. Bailey from the foundation, realign the safeguards and procedures for future fundraisers, reconcile the ticket sales and the money as previously stated, and meet with the school's site curriculum committee to see if they can help in assisting moving this forward, finding new ways to raise money, what can we do as a school, and utilizing them as leaders in the community and the school to help improve the situation. Option 3 is intermediate strategies. This would be more extreme, and considering how much we still don't know and how much trust we put into somebody, I would definitely recommend putting a halt on community events, seeing what's going on with the people involved, and reconciling all other accounts and activities taking place to ensure that this isn't just happening here. We need to be sure that it's not happening everywhere. In addition, I would reopen the foundation and ask for a new president to step forward. Do new people want to come in and take this lead, this opportunity to show what the school's capable of doing and hopefully fix their reputation, at least to some capacity? I would also review and reestablish the procedures and safeguards. While a lot of them are probably positive and offer some support, I would imagine some of them could be outdated or could be updated for what's taking place and to fit the current issue that's taking place. The pros and cons of option 1 is the pro is it's not time consuming. You're quick, you're done, you cut it off, and you move on. However, the con is there's a lack of acknowledgement. It creates more distrust. When the principal, Mr. Bailey, or the school in any fashion doesn't step forward and say, we made a mistake and we are going to fix it, even though it may not directly affect them, they still need to take responsibility for it, and people can find distrust in not doing that. Option 2, the pro would be that you establish some form of trust, and you remove the untrustworthiness by removing the people that are causing the problem. However, the cons are this could be time consuming to reconcile everything, and if an answer isn't found from doing that, we still don't know what the misdemeanor charge is and who's responsible for this, and it doesn't prevent any issues moving forward. I feel like option 3 would be the best option in this case study. It offers, as far as pros, the opportunity to regroup and find new leaders, opportunity to recreate trust through communication, and review current procedures that are outdated and ineffective. And hopefully, with these 3 things, they would be able to build a stronger, more prepared community. The cons would be that it is very time-consuming. It's going to take a lot of steps to get those done. It creates distrust across all groups and activities because you're now having to check every single group and activity in the school. You could have a lack of support, people that don't want to step up and help because of the bad publicity that the school is getting. And ensuring all individuals have the support of the new safeguards that are in place. So if you're going to fix them or change them, how are you going to get those out? And how are you going to ensure that everybody's prepared for that? And by removing all the events at school, you're going to have a lack of community involvement, which means that schools are going to gravitate elsewhere, or people are going to gravitate towards other schools, and that doesn't benefit the school in improving. As I said, I chose option 3 as the best option. While it may seem dramatic in some sense and it requires a lot more work, because of the size of the school with how many students it has and the amount of publicity, oh man, I feel like this is something where the school needs to step up and the principal needs to step up and take action steps that prove something to the school and to the students and the staff, because people are going to be looking for that moving forward. Thank you for listening to my video. I hope everybody has a great rest of the semester.